Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ponder in the Pod. Are you feeling a bit crowded living under the same roof with another or other these days? Or were you caught up in this pandemic living alone? Well, if you're living with other people, you may feel a bit crowded during these times, right? Pining for your own space to think and breathe. Remember, prior to COVID, we spent more time away from each other than with one another. So I guess throwing us all in the same boat together at the same time has proven to be kind of interesting one way or another. So it feels like kind of an experiment, right? What happens when you take us all, keep us under the same roof together all at the same time? And if you're stuck in this pandemic living alone, you may feel more like Tom Hanks in the film Castaway, right? Talking to yourself, your pet, or an inanimate object all day. His was a volleyball. What's yours? I have a t-shirt that says, sometimes I talk to myself. And then we both just laugh and laugh. I noticed my Alexa device is beginning to sound more like me. My voice inflections and my responses. When someone thanks me for something casual, I may casually respond many times with a, you bet. And I thanked Alexa for information this morning. And this was its response. Listen to this.
You bet. You bet. You bet.
Okay. Now that's getting scary. You know what I mean? So either way, we've been waiting for this whole COVID nightmare to just go away, but it seems more difficult than anticipated. And we are, for the most part, still stuck at home. Many of us under the same roof and at the same time. But there are ways to lessen the impact this has on us at home, because home is where we retreat to. It's our refuge from the world, where we regenerate and rest to enable us to go back out into the world and try and live our lives the best we can and find enjoyment in our lives, even under all circumstances. So in order to do that, one of the things that we really need is quiet time. We all need quiet time. It's our adult time out. It's a space to be alone and to be able to think, to feel that there's space from us and other energy around us. It is in this space that we're able to pray on, meditate on, and ponder on ourselves, our challenges, our dreams, and our victories. It's to ground ourselves, to think things through, make decisions, to be able to heal, to be creative and become inspired. And don't forget the kids, because they need their space alone time as well. And I don't mean, with the games and everything, but they actually need that time to be able to be inventive, to be able to dream. I know it's difficult to do all this when we feel we're on top of one another. Chaos abounds. We have no privacy, or our privacy is just not respected. And if you're in a relationship, a situationship, or friendship that is struggling from this under the roof confinement, and it's not a toxic relationship, this is one of those many practices that will help that relationship. Of course, if you're stuck in a toxic relationship that is destructive, infidelity, mistrust, you're scared, perhaps it's time to move on and go elsewhere. Perhaps maybe it's still time to get counseling. Either way, of course, we talk a little bit about that in our episodes as well, in other episodes. My prayers and thoughts go with you. The people living alone right now are thinking, well, I don't know, maybe living alone is not so bad after all. But they know living alone has its drawbacks certainly as well, which we'll come to in a minute. Anyway, with those of you folks who live under the same roof, sit down with whom you live with and discuss some boundaries and space for each of you. It's not the size of your home that counts. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, let me rephrase that. I just realized what that might sound like. Okay, never mind. It's not programmed for kids, I guess. Anyway, all right. Let me rephrase this statement or the thought. Oh, Lord. It doesn't matter if you live in one room together or in a mansion. Respecting each other's space is more about awareness of one another and working together. Even if you live in one room, you can designate a corner or near a window, decorate it, or put up a divider screen. Make it the quiet, alone space where you feel comfortable to be and to think. Each person should find the space, place, corner, or crevice, whatever, in your dwelling or outside that feels the most comfortable to be alone to ponder on life. Know where that is. Sit down with one another. Let each other know where that is. And when you are in that place, so this is your alone, quiet time. And agree to respect one another's space. That's going to be very important because what's the point in having it in the first place? And each of us want that. And, try not to choose places of high trafficking, like the kitchen or coveted areas like the loo, the bathroom. My grandfather, we called him Pop. When we were all young, the poor guy, he lived in an entire household full of all of us girls. And poor guy, he worked a lot. So when he was only home in the morning and then he came back in the evening for dinner. We only had one bathroom. The only quiet place my pop seemed to find for his alone time was in the bathroom with a stack of Reader's Digest. We weren't supposed to, weren't supposed to bug him when he was in there. But, you got to get ready for school in the morning or a date later as a teen. So, begin pounding on the door. Pop, I got to get in there. And he's yelling from inside the bathroom, leave me alone. My grandma's out in the other room and she's yelling out, honey, quit pounding on the door. Stop bothering your papa. Oh my gosh, those were the days. But we were not confined with one another as many are today because of this pandemic. Now, those of you that live alone escaped Cape. Let me say this again. Those of you that live alone escaped Camp Chaos, right? Although I get it, living alone right now may not be your preference either. It is difficult to have no one to talk to or to go through this pandemic with no one to go through it with all the social distancing, masking, grouping changes. It does make it difficult to keep socially active and fulfilled. And yes, and I know it gets lonely and it gets scary at times. But there still are many things that you can do. Obviously, projects that you can start isn't obvious. Participating in, where can you participate? We can still communicate with others on a daily basis, which is important when you live alone. Telephone calls, texts, emails, messages, video platforms you can see yourself like Zoom and such. I know our technology may be a pain in the neck many times, and boy, no one can agree with that any more than I can, if you can even imagine. Drives me crazy. But in this pandemic era, we can still at least see and speak to one another. We can continue to learn. We can, socialize, even though it's online, and we can work and worship, even if online. I get it's not as good as in person. I'm the kind of pastor. I'm a hugger. I love to be around people. I love the energy that we share with one another. I get it, but this is also second best. Let me give you a idea of kind of who I'm living under the roof with. They've been doing major construction at the church across the street from me for weeks. It's not my church. It's another church, a wonderful group and all. But there's a half a dozen large, noisy trucks all the time, constantly beeping. The house is shaking midway while I'm recording or while I'm trying to write, all day and into the night. There's no escaping it. It's like living with them under my roof. They're my roommates. My choice is I should say, because we have choices. Ooh, that was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? Okay, well, my choices. The first is to be annoyed by it. Well, okay, is where I began, quite frankly. Okay. But I also decided I had a better option, which was my other choice to work with it. So I temporarily set up in another room to record, doing less video, more audio, and I put earbuds in to write and I turn on music and I'm happy again. I'm not annoyed and I'm back on track doing what I'm doing. It's just one more little practice, which brings me to other practices you can make in your home to make it more tolerable and appealing to be stuck in, live in, whether it's with yourself and certainly with others. Find projects, find things you can do together as a team as well. Games, team projects, remodel your space, change up your home environment. In the last episode of Ponder in the Pod it's called Is Your Home a Sweet Home? Check it out. We discuss how you make your place of living more as your personal resort or sanctuary. Our living environment does matter. For many, our place of living has become our offices, our homes, school, gyms, playgrounds, and sanctuaries. And we had to adapt our homes to these changes darn near overnight. Where we spend the most time does affect us the most. So check out that episode. Of course, there's others there, for some ideas to ponder on to help you with all this. Life is not going to wait for us. I think we figured that out. And I think we're starting to figure out neither will COVID. So what are we waiting for? We can at least make our home environment the best that we can and enjoy that. We are able to find new ways to live our life, in joy and excitement. Yeah, okay, a little bit of changes, but they're good changes. We can make them good. We can still heal. In fact, we have access to more ways to heal than ever now with the internet. We can have access to our own doctors, access to experts, access to other pastors and leaders. Oh my goodness. We can find common ground with those that we love and live with. We can live with ourselves and others under one roof. We just need to think out of our box, be creative, be excited to find new ways to live our lives. It's a good place to start anyway. I encourage it. I'm doing it too. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this channel to help make it grow. I am very grateful to you. Until next time, I wish that you, and I pray for you, that you find new and creative ways to live your life, that you find harmony under your roof with one another or with yourself, and that you continue to walk in the light and the love of God. Until next time, you take care. Bye-bye now.